You know, one of the reasons I joined the Fresh Mouth Club is because I loved using colloidal silver. Well, what's the difference between colloidal silver and nano silver? Nano silver is about 1,000 times better. Without healthy gums, you don't have healthy teeth. Or you could have healthy teeth, but they won't stay in your head. You've got to have healthy gums and a healthy, clean mouth. There's germs everywhere. But I don't worry about any of that stuff now. Why? Since I became a member of the Fresh Mouth Club, my mouth has never felt cleaner. And you can find out all about it by following the link in the description. Fresh Mouth Club. Sleepy Joe's all-natural sleep formula contains a blend of 18 powerful sleep-inducing ingredients, combined in a scientifically studied ratio to promote sleep and help repair damage at a cellular level. So unlike the original Sleepy Joe, you're actually healing and repairing damage at a cellular level when you take Sleepy Joe. And what could be more fun than being mindlessly incoherent in this day and age? So if your all-natural sleep aids don't work, it's because they typically contain just a few ingredients to help you sleep. And what good is that? You want to opt for the 18 powerful sleep-inducing ingredients combined in a scientifically studied ratio to promote sleep and help repair the damage at a cellular level. That gives you that extra kick in the morning when you wake up, and you can only get that with Sleepy Joe right here at redpillliving.com/snarky.
Look at all the birds. God, I love them so much. I'm so lucky to have this house. I am. Look. Wait a minute, where is it? Look. They're everywhere. It's like a freaking concert. I don't know what this is coming out like. Oh, that's the reflection of the light in my kitchen. Look at this. I can't get him flying in focus, and I'm gonna cry. Look at him. Look at him. I need to get him. There he is. Now he's going on. Oh, I missed his face. Bird. This is like gold falling on me. These birds. God, what a present for me today. God, look at the birds. Jesus. God, I love them so much. Thank you. Thank you for the birds. Oh, God, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, my God, I love them so much. They're there. Oh, God. They're flying away.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing tonight? Depending on when you're listening to this. I hope you guys are doing well. I feel so much better. I have been getting proper sleep. We have some energies that have been coming in. I think the 20, well, they end today, I think. It's ratcheting down today. But it was a good time for me to rest and learn. I've been expanding my repertoire, if you will. And the results of some of that are on here. I decided to do a mixed video where, the main theme is people are noticing that something's not right. I'm seeing all these videos of people going, not everyone is human. You know, people, there's something wrong with people. What's wrong with people? Some people don't have souls. You know, people are noticing it. So that's kind of the theme of it. And I got the Steven Tyler. I thought the Steven Tyler, it's the official video. Dude looks like a lady. I wrote I did a short. I learned how to do shorts, and I did a short on the Steven Tyler thing. And I put the time code in there of when, it's right when the video starts. Dude looks like a lady. And he throws his head back, and this freaking lizard, laughing lizard, comes out. So for this show, I put the video full screen where I'm going really, really slow, frame by frame. And you can see his head completely disappears. So Christian 21, who was right about a lot of things, the original Christian 21, not this other one, the original, he had said that what happens is these Draco reptilians, there are good reptilians, but these Draco reptilians that are doing all of this, they are all, chipped up. They've got the black goo. They've got everything. And they thrive off the negative energy. Just like once you start getting chipped up and everything, you start like needing, well, if they're here, then they need human flesh and stuff like that to maintain their clone bodies, I guess you would call it. So these reptilians, they worship negative energies, these archons. And what happens is they have these ceremonies and rituals, and of course these archons are intensely negative energy, and also they are ancient demonic energies. And so you can look at it either way, negative demonic energy, or you can say they're literally demons, and these reptilians worship them. They have rituals, they have sacrifices. They know how to harness all this negative energy, and they have a reciprocal thing going on where the more these demonic archons get from them, and Christian had said they are housed in an electromagnetic field because they cause so much damage in the universe. Previously, they were ostracized to an electromagnetic field, which I can believe that they can't get out of, but they figured out a way to get out. And these reptilians help them through this consciousness transfer. And the reptilians are the ones that have the demons in them. And when a celebrity or a politician who is climbing up the ladder they reach a ceiling at a certain point where they're going to have to take part in this if they want to go any higher. And once that happens, they have to sign a contract, and they get, this is what Christian was saying, but I can believe this too. Like I tell you all the time, I've got a big basket of possibilities. A lot of things going on here. But I can believe this. The reptilian is demonically possessed. So when the reptilian consciousness transfers, when the celebrity, musician, politician, businessman, banker, whoever they are, when they sign that paper, they give permission for all kinds of raping and pillaging of their sovereignty, the very essence of who they are. They're giving away their souls. And it's in a contract. So these contracts are honored through energies. And so in any event, this Steven Tyler thing, who's more popular than Aerosmith? All these famous bands, everybody's throwing the devil horns up and everything, and all that energy for that, 1 or 2 frames or something that this happens in. And it's almost like, and then it's recorded, because they have to record it, because the lizard comes out, but it's the archon that's coming out. And you can see a little bit when he comes back up that he has no head. And there's this little nub on the top of where his head is supposed to be. It all happens in a matter of like 2 frames or something. Time code's right on there. I just looked at it before I made this video just to be sure it was still there on YouTube, you know, where you can go see it. And so the energy, that's what they're doing. They're feeding that Archon energy through the concerts. Everything they produce in those concerts is feeding the Archon energy. So, and I think that's what happened. And it happens in movies and stuff, and Donald Marshall and Christian 21, and they're not the only ones. James Rink, Super Soldiers, they all say it, that they use real aliens in these productions because we don't know what we're looking at. And they like it. And they're the ones that are participating in the ability for these beings these archons to come into this world, because they don't belong in this world, like Arizona Wilder says. And they need the tissue and the blood and all of the things that they need to stay in this world and maintain their shape. So I feel like the facade is coming down because they're not getting what they need. And the vibrations are high. All right, get that message off of the thing. My microphone should be working now. Your microphone is not working. Please check your connection or use a different mic. Oh, go fuck yourself. God. Well, hey, everybody. I think the audio is working now. How's everybody doing? I just lost my temper a little bit with this. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Look, I got my clipboard here and everything. Anyway, this will work. And of course, the layer of the beast. He's gnawing on a chew toy. He's a beast. But anyway, I'm not here to ramble about him. I'm here to talk about the people who are noticing in everyday life that not everyone is human. Okay? They're noticing people. They're noticing that they don't have anything inside their eyes. So you see how I make expressions and stuff, and I could go, ooh, I hate you, or I could go, ha, 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 you know, and it's in my eyes. So that gives me some leverage over these people, because these people appear to be everywhere, and people are noticing in their day-to-day living.
She popped up on the algorithm, and the video is titled, "They Not Like Us, They Can't Be Human."
Was a cloak. It was easier to hide these beings when they were still feeding off of our energy in our asleep state. It was easier to hide them, easier to make them blend in. But now they can't blend in. And I feel like it's a whole lot more of them than what we actually realize, y'all.
If y'all see what we see, it's getting, the veils is gone. It's real out here.
But of course, now that my spiritual eyes are open, I'm not just seeing these people through my natural eyes. And it's becoming more and more apparent that a lot of the people that's walking the face of this earth, they're not human. They're not human. Now, I know that you all have heard the term mankind, right? There's a reason why that term surfaced. Mankind is kind of like a man. Not quite, right? But it's a different type of feel is what I'm picking up when it comes to the looks. It's almost like, why are you amongst us? Where I'm just looking like, what am I surrounded by? Even the people that work, not all the people that work there, okay? I would love to hear your feedback out there and if you are noticing the same thing. So as we all know, this current system, the current structure is dying. The beast of Babylon is dying, okay? Why? Because many of the chosen see we've withdrawn our energy. Okay. I told you all a long time ago, I was given a visual of a beast and a whole bunch of cords. And those cords were spiritual cords attached to a lot of people who have souls, right? The chosen seed. And that cord was actually like an umbilical cord to this beast that was feeding the beast. Like it was siphoning the energy. It was siphoning our energy, especially as long as we stayed in low vibrational energy, that cord would remain. But the moment that we woke up and made a conscious decision to release a lot of unhealthy patterns, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy thoughts and traumas and things of that nature, that cord breaks, especially when you're doing generational curse breaking. That cord can no longer remain. And so the very source that the beast of Babylon fed on is practically non-existent, because many of the chosen have awakened and see the importance of cutting these cords to the beast of Babylon, right? So with that being said, a lot of the energy that beast was siphoning, I hope that I wasn't covering the mic, y'all. A lot of the energy that beast was siphoning was being distributed to the NPCs, the zombies, the ones that will be considered mankind, right? Whatever these beings are, a lot of that divine energy that would make you human was actually being siphoned and redistributed to the beings that are not human.
Also, there is a pandemic of narcissism going on. So all of this stuff is very interesting. I'm not talking about it right now, other than to say I'm not the only one. I'm learning to do all kinds of new things. And one of them is to move around my house. You know, what stuff works, where does it work, that kind of thing. Woo! This is turning into a boring, I'm sure you have better things to do because you're high IQ people. Disclosures here. Disclosures here.
Listen, every single film, yeah, don't matter what film it is with demons, when you see all them pictures, yeah, they're showing you. See, most of them are real. This is how they're taking the piss out of humanity. Sometimes they use real aliens, real demons, especially in Steven Spielberg films, in the films. They are all snatched vessels. These people, see like people like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, that sort of age group, and older, they didn't sign their soul and all that lot. They're body snatched. It hasn't just got the reptilian in that vessel, it's got the demon, what's the control of the reptilian, yeah?
So what you're saying is that all of these people in Hollywood, all of these politicians, all of them, celebrity scientists, celebrity preachers, celebrity, any high person who's making, so many figures. There's a 20 million club, there's a 30 million club, there's all these clubs. And at a certain point, there is a reptilian in there. And the reptilian is controlled by a demon. That's what you're saying. So now I'm going to read you a little bit more from the day after Roswell and the Roswell artifacts. And again, imagine being him in the room with all this stuff that nobody's seen. It's all from off planet. And there might be 2 other people that know it exists. I was most interested in the file descriptions accompanying a 2-piece set of dark elliptical eyepieces as thin as skin.
The Walter Reed pathologist said they adhered to the lenses of the extraterrestrial creature's eyes and seemed to reflect existing light, even in what looked like complete darkness, so as to illuminate and intensify images in the darkness to allow their wearer to pick out shapes. The reports had said that the pathologist at Walter Reed Hospital who autopsied one of these creatures tried to peer through them in the darkness to watch the 1 or 2 army sentries and medical orderlies walking down a corridor adjacent to the pathology lab. These figures were illuminated in a greenish orange, depending on how they moved, but the pathologist could see only their outer shape, and when they got close to each other, their shapes blended into a single form. But they could also see outlines of furniture and the wall and objects on desktops. Maybe, I thought, as I read this report, soldiers could wear a visor that intensified images through the reflection and amplification of available light and navigate in the darkness of a battlefield with as much confidence as if they were walking their sentry posts in broad daylight. But these eyepieces didn't turn night into day. They only highlighted the exterior shapes of things. So just remember, this is 1940, well, it's 1961 now, but these artifacts are from 1947, a 1947 crash. Also, remember this, he's the only one, he's in this room with these artifacts that for all practical purposes in 1961, theoretically it had been debunked in the mainstream media. Well, we know how they lie. We know what their job is now. So, yeah, they gave it their best shot. But time has proven that people have not accepted any of it. And now here we are all these years later still talking about it. How long has this book been out? This book was, this is copyrighted 1997. So this book has been out for a while and nobody talks about this. Why? Because they push it, they squish it, they do what they're trying to do to us. So he's the only one. He's got these things and he's looking at stuff from outer freaking space. Oh my God. I mean, can you imagine being him? And now he talks about that stuff I was talking about in my last video. There was a dull, grayish, silvery, foil-like swatch of cloth among these artifacts that you could not fold, bend, tear, or wad up, but that bounded right back into its original shape without any creases. It was metallic fiber with physical characteristics that would later be called super tenacity. But when I tried to cut it with scissors, the arms just slid right off without even making a nick in the fibers. If you tried to stretch it, it bounced back. But I noticed that all of the threads seemed to be going in one direction. When I tried to stretch it widthwise instead of lengthwise, it looked like the fibers had reoriented themselves to the direction I was pulling it in. This couldn't be cloth, but it obviously wasn't metal. It was a combination, to my unscientific eye, of a cloth woven with metal strands that had the drape and malleability of a fabric and the strength and resistance of a metal. I was on top of some of the most secret weapons projects at the Pentagon, and we had nothing like this, even under the wish list category. So he's sitting in the room with this stuff, and he's the only one. I just can't even imagine being him. He goes on. There was a written description and a sketch of another device, too, like a short, stubby flashlight, almost with a self-contained power source that was nothing at all like a battery. The scientists at Wright Field who examined it said they couldn't see the beam of light shoot out of it. But when they pointed the pencil-like flashlight at a wall, they could see a tiny circle of red light. But there was no actual beam from the end of what seemed like a lens to the wall, as there would have been if you were playing a flashlight off a distant object. When they passed an object in front of the source of light, it interrupted it, but the beam was so intense the object began smoking. They played with this device a lot before they realized that it was an alien cutting device, like a blowtorch. One time, they floated some smoke across the light, and suddenly the whole beam took shape. What had been invisible suddenly had a round, micro-thin, tunnel-like shape to it. Why did the inhabitants of this craft have a cutting device like this aboard their ship? It wasn't until later when I read military reports of cattle mutilations in which entire organs were removed without any visible trauma to the surrounding cell tissue that I realized that the light beam cutting torch I thought was in Roswell file was actually a surgical implement, just like a scalpel, that was being used by the aliens in medical experiments on our livestock. But no, it's not just livestock. They use this on people because people have been found laying in forests and empty pieces of land with this same thing as the cattle mutilations. And it's adrenochrome harvesting. And as Ryoshin Malone explains even further on his website, which is the orionlines.com, he explains that they actually have devices that can go up there and whip the organs into a liquid inside a human body. And then they extract them out in liquid form as food for them. So think about that. They have to do that while the person is still alive. And these people are found laying in plateaus and deserted places. One of the most famous cases where they found the remains was in South America somewhere, and you can look it up. It's well written about on the internet. Obviously, they're using these things to harvest whatever. They're not exactly the most honest things in the world, and these great things are robots. They're just programmed. Yes, sure, they have some kind of consciousness, but they don't have hearts and souls and feelings and stuff. So, you do the math. Okay, so that is a reading that I did. God, I don't even know, remember when I did that, but I was fascinated with this book. This book is full of incredible information. I highly recommend you get it. The day after Roswell, Colonel Philip J. Corso, he was there for the whole thing. He was a higher up. And it says here, former Pentagon official reveals the U.S. government's shocking UFO cover-up. And he became, I can't remember exactly, I'd have to go back and read the book, but he became aware of these files that were they just abandoned the whole thing. They figured they'd covered it up. So these things, these artifacts and these documents just got lost into the system. Well, Corso later on came in contact with this material, him and another guy, and they I can't remember his name. I apologize. But anyway, they filed it just as if it was being filed normally. They didn't put anything special on it like UFO, Roswell crash, any of that. They just filed it as a regular document. So they hid it in plain sight, basically. And then they proceeded to go through this stuff. There were boxes of artifacts, there were files, there were photographs, there were all kinds of things. And they just, whenever they came across this stuff, they filed it. But they filed it like you would file something normal, so that nobody would be interested in it, in reading it or seeing it. So he's now the only one who knows this stuff. There's one reading where he is taken, I think he's in Area 51. He's in one of the bases out west. And he is taken into a hangar and shown a crate with these alien corpses, I guess, inside. And he describes exactly what happened and exactly what he sees. So then now when he finds these artifacts, they want to examine them because he knows about it was totally improper what happened. But anyway, he saw it and he now knows that they're covering it up. And so when these artifacts come into his possession, he doesn't want to cause people to, he doesn't want to cause any havoc, but he wants to be able to examine them. And so now I'm going to be signing off. First, I want to leave you with this. Max and I were going to do a little thing at the end, but he wrecked it. He had a urination event. And so I am going to go out on this, and he's bossing me around too. And you can see how he treats me. Treats me like I'm the dog and he's the owner of the house. So on that note, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful disclosure, because it does kind of feel emancipating to watch this stuff be disclosed. Right now, Fauci is on the burner, but there's other people on the burner. This Iliada, what's her name, and her husband have a dead body in their house. It's like all kinds of stuff is popping up. So it can only explode into a demonic goo of a mess. And after this, this dog, he's so demanding. But I love him. I'm falling in love with him. And after this, I'll be signing off. So, yeah, here he is. He stopped chomping on his thing now. And he's making demands with his eyes. What is it that you want? What is it that you want? Huh? Come here. Oh, no. What are you doing? Do you have to go potty? You go potty on the phone. Look at how you ruined everything. Oh, so that was going to be a little cameo appearance of him. But he had a little accident because he got so excited, didn't you? What's a mother to do? We were rolling on that, and then you had a little urination accident, which I now have to go clean up. These are my days, people. These are my days. This is just like having a child. I was going to bring him up here, and we were going to, of course, now I don't want to do it because he just urinated. It was a spontaneous urination. And you got too excited. We're going to have to work on that. I'm going to make a star out of him. Do you hear that? What? What? No, I'm not going to let you come out. No, I'm not going to let you come out. I'm not going to let you come out because you went potty on the floor right over there. But that face, like he's commanding. He's not asking. He's demanding. All right, well, there'll be no video of him today because he just had a spontaneous urination on the floor. So maybe next time.